Hi, I'm Betty Martin. I'm the developer of the Wheel of Consent. There's a lot of free videos online and a lot of other resources, but they tend to be longer. So I'm going to see if I can give it to you here in 5 minutes. Ready? Go. The Wheel of Consent is, first of all, a practice. It's a practice in taking receiving and giving apart so that when it's your turn to receive a gift, you notice what you want, you ask for it, you receive just the gift you want, and it fills your heart. And when it's your turn to give a gift, you set aside what you want, go with what your other person wants. You stay within your boundaries, of course. And that also feeds your heart in a different way. The Wheel of Consent grew out of two people asking each other these two questions. How do you want me to touch you for 3 minutes? And how do you want to touch me for 3 minutes? This is called the 3 minute game. It was developed by Harry Faddis. So though the Wheel of Consent grew out of these exchanges of touch, it of course applies to much more than touch. And the dynamics that become clear when you play it like this inform all kinds of relationships, from personal business all the way up to international politics. But we're going to talk about it here in terms of touch because that's kind of the easiest way to understand it and to learn it. So when you play with it, asking each other those two questions, what you'll notice is that there's 4 rounds to the game. And in two of those rounds, you are the one who's doing, and in two of those rounds, you're the one who's done to. And also in two of those rounds, you are the one who's giving a gift. And in two of those rounds, you are the one who's receiving a gift. And they don't match up the way you might think they do. I can divide those interactions up by thinking about who it's for. If it's for me, I'm receiving a gift. It's for you, I am giving a gift. Or I can also divide them up by who is doing. Either I'm doing or I'm being done to. And the doing and done to question is a different question than who's giving and who's receiving the gift. And this is how they overlap. So let's give them some names. So in this quadrant, I'm being done to and I'm receiving a gift. It's for me. It means I'm being done to in the way that I want. We call that accepting. And if I'm doing and I'm giving a gift, it's for the other person. I call that serving. The dynamic between the serving and the accepting is that the action goes from the serve to the accept, and the gift also goes from the server to the acceptor. The server is doing what the acceptor has asked. This all happens because we make an agreement, which we're calling here consent. The agreement is started when the acceptor says, will you? Will you scratch my back? Will you hold my hand? Will you drive me to the airport? Will you help me? And the server says, yes, I will. I can do it this way. I can't do it that way. So you're respecting your limits. The other dynamic is take, allow. When I'm receiving a gift and it's for me, but I'm the one doing, I call that taking. The thing to know about taking that it is not stealing, it's receiving a gift. And the gift is being given to me by the allower. The allower is giving me the gift of access to them. So in take allow dynamic, the action goes from the taker to the allower, the gift goes from the allower to the taker. What starts this agreement is the question, may I? May I play with your hair? May I feel your legs? May I borrow your truck? And the allower says, yes, you may. You can borrow it next Tuesday. You can play with me this way, but not this way. So again, we are respecting the boundaries of the person who's giving the gift. It can help to look at the halves. When I'm in the doing half, I'm serving, which means I'm doing what you want, or I'm taking, which means I'm doing what I want. In the done to half, it's the same thing. I'm being done to in the way I want. I've asked you to scratch my back just this particular way, and you've agreed to do that. Or I'm being done to the way you want, and I'm giving you the gift of access to me, and that's allowing. In the receiving half, there are two ways to receive a gift. I can receive the gift of taking, in which case I'm doing what I want and you are giving me the gift of access to you. Or I can, in accepting, I can receive the gift of your action. You are doing what I have asked you to do. And either way, it's a gift for me that you have agreed to give me. In the giving half, I'm setting aside what I want and I'm going with what you want. In serving, I'm giving you the action of whatever you've asked me to do. In allowing, I'm giving you access to me. So that's the four quadrants and that's the wheel of consent. And what the heck does it have to do with anything? And who cares anyway? And that is a great question. It helps to remember that the wheel of consent is a practice. It doesn't replace your life. It doesn't describe every single interaction that you're a part of, but the dynamics that it uncovers do apply to all different kinds of relationships and interactions. As you play with it over time, what you learn is that each of those four quadrants feels different to you. And that's where it gets both more fun and more impactful. In playing with it, you learn to take responsibility for what it is you want. You learn to take responsibility for your boundaries and limits. You learn the difference between when to be selfish and when to be generous and how to tell those apart. And you begin to notice that those dynamics are at play in your relationships in the world as well. And you have a lot more fun. I hope you enjoy playing with it, and there's a lot more free resources elsewhere. Oh, yeah. I wrote a book about this. It's called The Art of Receiving and Giving, The Wheel of Consent. And you can get a free chapter at wheelofconsentbook.com.